As they begat children and they begat children, eventually, within the precession of our equinox, before there were stars yet, a male was created. A male came out of the womb. Just as this is happening, the sun is getting smaller and smaller as from the first being, they became more and more and more. 1 became 10, and 10 became 100, and as 100 became 1,000, and 1,000 became 100,000 to 1,000,000, the sun began to have a different pathology, began to move differently until a male was born. Not long after males were born, it became apparent to the people at this time that they were descending in terms of their integrity, in terms of their respectfulness to each other, in terms of their sovereignty, and more sects of those beings wanted dominance and control. And to bring balance, the moon came. When the moon brought balance, it shook the entire earth, and almost everything was destroyed. The world that was once a big island became multiple different islands called continents. And the descent began to rise. The fallen state, the Nephilim. This was the first time in our precession of the equinox of our descended state, the melanated womb being, and the males began to look like Sasquatches and Denisovans and Neanderthals. The first Australopithecus, what they say people evolved from, it was actually a descended state that happened over thousands of years of constantly mating with each other with no practice, no spirituality, no reasoning as to why they do what they do. They fell into an animal state. Some of these beings even began to lose their melanin. This was the last precession of the equinox with the Neanderthal and the Denisovian. The ones that retained their melanin, though, it was like the females began to realize and put themselves first. The females began to remember as if they were all connected to the Divine Mother, the Divine Mother's strength of sovereignty and integrity and wanting better for civilization. And it was because of the Divine Mother's influence inside of these beings, inside of their melanin, that they were able to rise their civilization again through the possession of the equinox of darkness into the light again. While some Neanderthals were left behind and they did not evolve, because true evolution is internal. Species can't evolve into other species. Evolving and evolution is internal. Growth is internal. Growth is also after death, and true fidelity is living, growing, dying, and being reborn. I think species can be mutated. They can de-evolve. But when it comes to the purest form of human being, the purest form is back to source. The closest back to source. And the closest back to source, I'm here to tell you, is that 700-foot being, womb being with melanin that can self-replicate and manifest a new being on its own. That is the closest to source as a human being can get.